Well, let's speak now to Phil Robinson, who's from Human Rights Watch, and to get further thoughts on this. Phil, first of all, so there we were just speaking a couple of hours ago, and the refugees' deportation was on hold, but not so. They are now deported and heading back to a country in the midst of a coup.
Yeah, this is outrageous and unacceptable. The Malaysian Immigration Department apparently thinks that it is above the law and outside of the courts. I mean, there was a clear Kuala Lumpur High Court order that stayed any action to remove this group until the court met tomorrow. They have defied that. All I can think is that apparently the Malaysian Immigration Department cares more about the needs of the Myanmar Navy that sent 3 boats to pick these people up and their inconvenience than respecting a court in Malaysia. And what we've seen, not only is the Director General of Immigration previously lied about this group, you know, when he claimed that there were no refugees or asylum seekers among the 1,200 be sent back, but, you know, now he's basically operating outside the law. So he needs to be investigated. The Prime Minister must order an investigation of him in the Immigration Department. And I think the National Human Rights Commission, Suhakam, must also immediately investigate.
What more do we know about this group who have been repatriated or en route to going back to Myanmar, in the sense of, are they asylum seekers? What's their makeup?
I mean, the experts in these matters, which is the UN Refugees Agency, UNHCR, has not been allowed to access these 1,200 people. And that's actually what we were asking for this whole period, is that allow them to have access, allow them to check who these people are, you know, find the people who are refugees with UNHCR cards, find the people who have a legitimate claim to political asylum, and pull them aside. If they don't have a claim to asylum, or they're not a refugee, and they're not a child being separated from their parents, then, you know, they can be deported. But the reality is that none of that happened. UNHCR has been completely left out of this, and the immigration has just, again, done whatever it wanted, completely outside the law.
And what are your concerns now for these people as they head back to a country in the state of crisis?
Well, my concerns is that they are going to face hostile interrogation and possible persecution by the military junta and its representatives in the Navy who picked them up today in Malaysia. That there's going to be a lot of hard time that they're going to be forced to try to explain why they went to Malaysia. This is a government now in Myanmar that is a military junta and that has traditionally looked very badly at people leaving the country without permission. And they could be prosecuted for leaving Myanmar without authorization.
And what about any recourse? Is there any action that can now be taken?
Well, I think that the investigation into the Director General of Immigration and his Immigration Department needs to happen. And I think they should face severe penalties for defying the court. I think there also needs to be action based on the concerns that we and other human rights groups have raised, that people here were probably asylum seekers and refugees in that group. You know, this is a completely outrageous violation of international human rights law by the Malaysian authorities, and I think that the Immigration Department has to pay for it. And if they were ordered from higher up, the people who gave that order have to be held responsible as well.
Phil Robinson, Deputy Director of Human Rights Watch's Asia Division, thanks very much indeed for that.
Thank you.